Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to do something pretty cool. We're tracing the hidden lineage of a world-famous secret society, going way back through the sands of time, and we're going to transform all that complex history into a clear, visual story for you. You know, for centuries, the story of where Masonic traditions come from has been this huge mystery. People usually point to medieval stonemason guilds, right? But what if the real answer is buried much, much deeper, way back in the ancient world?
So here's what we're digging into today. We're looking at a possible and, frankly, fascinating link between two worlds that seem miles apart. A modern global fraternity on one hand, and an ancient, secret faith that was so popular it actually gave early Christianity a run for its money.
All right, let's get right into it. We're going to use some solid historical and philosophical detective work here as our guide, and really trace the threads connecting Mithraic worship and Masonic symbols, step by step. Our whole investigation really kicks off with one big question, and it's simple, but wow, it's pretty profound. Is it actually possible that there's a hidden thread, like an unbroken chain of ideas, connecting these two groups across thousands of years? All right. To even begin to find that thread, we've got to hop on our time machine. We're going way back to the Roman Empire to get a handle on this mysterious and really powerful cult, the cult of Mithra. So in the Roman world, Mithraism was a big deal, especially for soldiers and officials. Think of it as a warrior's faith. It was all about secrecy, loyalty, and this really dramatic central story of creation and sacrifice. And get this, they practiced it all in these underground temples that were built to look like caves, super atmospheric. But here's the twist. That Roman version of the cult, that's not where the story starts, not even close. To really get what symbols might have been passed down, we've got to look way beyond Rome. Okay, so let's dig in. To really get to know Mithra, we have to start peeling back the layers of history. And I mean all the way back to his ancient roots in the Indo-Iranian world. Yet long before he was this Roman mystery god, Mithra was this incredibly powerful figure in the Avesta, that's the sacred book of Zoroastrianism. And in those texts, he wasn't slaying bulls. Nope. He was a divine judge, the guardian of promises and contracts. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. It's this whole idea of the sacred oath. Mithra's entire identity, his whole deal, was tied to the unbreakable power of a promise. That was the absolute cornerstone of his worship. And that idea, well, as we're about to see, it's also a huge deal in Masonic rituals. And the story just keeps building from there, because something huge, a real transformation, happened when this ancient god of contracts ran smack into the incredible cosmic knowledge of Mesopotamia. The key to understanding this whole shift, it comes down to one historical process, one powerful concept, syncretism. So what is syncretism? Well, it's basically what happens when two different cultures crash into each other, and their beliefs, their ideas, their gods, they all start to blend together. They create something that's brand new, but also kind of familiar. And that is exactly what happened to Mithra. Okay, so this evolutionary path is absolutely crucial to understand. You've got Mithra starting out as this god of the oath. Then he gets fused with Babylonian sun worship and all their cosmic science. And finally, boom, he emerges in Rome as that complex astrological savior god that we see in all those ancient carvings. So, in Babylon, Mithra's identity gets blended with the seriously powerful sun god Shamash. And Shamash was a huge deal. He was the god who saw everything from the sky, the ultimate judge, and the source of that divine, truth-revealing light. This fusion was just, well, it was profound. It was probably put together by the Magi, the Zoroastrian priests. And what it did was give this old cult a brand new, super deep astrological and philosophical framework. Suddenly, Mithra wasn't just a god of contracts anymore. He was a cosmic guide, a lord of light, who could supposedly lead a person's soul right through the heavens. Okay, so this brings us to the big question, the crucial point of all this. How do these ancient blended ideas, this god of the oath, the sun, and the light, somehow connect to the symbols you'd find inside a modern Masonic lodge today? Well, when you actually put the core ideas side by side, the parallels are kind of hard to ignore. That ancient sacred oath, the Yamin, you can see a clear echo of that in the Mason's solemn obligation. The Mithraic worship of the sun and light, it looks a lot like the Masonic search for more light. And even the whole idea of a structured, step-by-step journey of initiation, that feels like a really powerful shared thread.
So the argument here, based on the research, isn't just that this is some random coincidence. The idea is that it points to a continuity of esoteric thought, a kind of shared symbolic language all about light, truth, and obligation that's been handed down, changing and adapting over thousands of years. This whole potential connection really challenges us to look deeper, doesn't it? It suggests that maybe, just maybe, beneath the surface of traditions and organizations we think we know, there are these ancient stories that are still alive, still breathing, just waiting for us to find them. Makes you wonder, what else have we been missing?